Okay, now the General Lee horn is now professionally installed in the 78 El Camino. This thing ain't been started in a while. Let's give it hit the button a little bit. Works great. Well, I pulled out the little bezel on the, what do you call this, instrument panel? Because I'm going to mount my button for my General Lee Dukes of Hazzard horn. It's going to go right here. Now, what I want to do first, though, is I have some like tape on here to kind of hold this in, Mont Gorilla tape, and we're going to put some JB weld. So this thing is going to be JB welded in here. Probably leave the tape on there and just put the JB weld like in here. You know, chemically clean that, and then we can screw the horn button on there. Just have the wire run. I guess you can have it, yeah, I can just have it run straight back there and go right through the hole in the firewall where the manual choke is for the Demon carb. So, I want to make sure this is like a professional installation. And here's my air horns right here. They're in there nice and solid. They're riveted. Actually, the brackets are riveted to this. I'm going to play them here in a minute. After we get the horn figured out. The button might be tomorrow though, but you know, this is my brake master cylinder. Just blew it off with air, cleaned it off with starting fluid, cleaned it off with air. We're going to hit it with some rust reformer. You know, we're going to do some Cooter's Garage professional stuff here, and then we'll get it coated with maybe truck bed lining or something just to keep that rust off here, man. You know what, these old cars would be good if they didn't rust. We got to stop all that shit. Well, I'm going to mix up a little JB weld and put it behind here. I don't think that's going to push in anyway, you know. So I put some Gorilla tape back here to take up the space. But I'm going to put a little bit around here so it doesn't pull off. And we got it right here. Just mix it up on this little steel plate. Put it on there. All set. Okay, so I just truck bed lined the brake booster. So what I'm going to do is, this wire, I think for the ground on the button, it only needs to be 14 gauge. I think that's well, we got a 12 gauge here, the black wire. Basically, the horn button just makes a connection to ground. That's all it's doing. Goes off the freaking relay, and the wire, the red wire to the battery, is at least a 12 gauge. Okay, but the other wires are like 14 or something like that. I think that's a 14, but if you use a 12, you're fine. I'm going to ground it out to the outside of the body here. I'm just going to take the Dremel cutoff wheel, grind the metal, put a pop rivet in there with a grommet so I could see my ground, and then I'll cover it up with some truck bed lining so it won't rust. So, you know, cover this up with some truck bed lining so this doesn't rust too. Yeah. And these are all in here nice and tight. And we want to have it nice and professional, and I got a loom for this thing here, this yellow wire, and the white wire's got to go inside that loom too, so it'll look pretty. Anyway, you don't want this yellow wire shorting out because the yellow wire is going to the power to the relay. Now there's a fuse, but if the ground wire shorts out, the horn's going to blow. Or if it grounds out, whatever. And again, the other stuff I did, I got the wire loom over here. Actually, I didn't even have to splice any wire. All the existing wires worked, so that was great. The only wire I had to add was the ground wire for the horn, which I put over there. And I coated it with truck bed lining. I cleaned off the firewall first with the Dremel tool. You know, the cutoff wheel and the Dremel tool, you see the edge of it, so it's like perfectly clean. Truck bed line. The little connection over here for the ground for the compressor. That's the ground for the horn. This is the ground for the compressor. All the horns are locked in there nice and tight. I might zip tie them together a little bit so they don't go different places, but I don't think that's necessary. They seem like they're in there pretty damn solid. Well, there you go. And I truck bed lined the brake booster after I got it with the rust killing primer stuff, you know, the rust converter primer. Here we go again. So we got two separate horns. So that's cool.